Hi, this is Kat with Beadaholique, and today I'm going to show you how to do a fishtail paracord bracelet. To complete this project, you'll need a clasp. Right here I have a plastic buckle. I have a full lot of paracord, which is about 16 feet, but to complete a bracelet about 7 to 8 inches, you'll need about 10 feet. You'll also need a lighter and a pair of scissors. And to get your measuring correct, you'll need a ruler. So to begin, we're going to cut off 10 feet of our paracord. Now I've already gone ahead and measured it, and here's my 10-foot mark. And just cut it with your scissors. And it looks like that, so you go ahead and set aside any of your excess. And what we're going to do now is we're going to burn this edge. So go ahead and take your lighter, and please be very careful with this. If you are a minor, please find some adult supervision to do this. Go ahead and click your lighter on, and we're just going to touch the tip of the flame to the edge, and what you're going to see is it's going to melt just a little bit. And now, careful, it's hot, but you can pinch it together. Create kind of a little needle effect, and just make sure that you've got all the edges in there, that it's nice and sealed so it won't fray. So go ahead and set your lighter aside. And now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half, finding the two ends to hold together. So taking the two ends, this is the male and this is the female. We're going to take the male part of the buckle and we're going to take our threads and go up through this second opening there. And you're just going to pull through. And now what you're going to do is you're going to pull them down through, holding one of the ends, and you're going to pull through the second one all the way through. And as you get to the edge there, just kind of wiggle it, and you're going to end up with a knot that looks like this, and you're going to have a tail. That's a little bit longer of a tail than I'd like, so I'm just going to kind of scooch it up and adjust that. You really only need about that long of a tail. And this is just adjusting. So here we go. So now it looks like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other side of my buckle, and finding my other end, I am going to go down through this top part of the buckle. And as you're doing this, make sure that your buckle is facing the right way. So now I have what looks like this. What I want to measure is I want a 7-inch bracelet. So I'm going to measure from this point right here, this black line right here in the buckle, line that up with my beginning, and then I'm going to measure to the edge of this buckle. So if you want a 7-inch bracelet, you're going to measure from here to 8 inches to line up with here. This measurement will give you a 7-inch bracelet, and go ahead and adjust it accordingly. So now we're here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of this loop, and I'm going to take it back up through the female end. But don't pull it all the way through. I'll show you when to stop. And it's just coming all the way through here. And you'll want to leave a loop, because now we're going to take that end again and go back through this loop here. And we're going to create another knot, just like that. And before you tie it, go ahead and take this end and put it through, and then you'll be able to pull tight. Now before I pull completely tight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my measurement one more time and make sure. And now just kind of wiggle that until it's nice and snug there. That looks pretty good. Check my measurement one more time. little bit longer. There we go. So now I'm at my 8 inches. And this is what your work will look like. So now I have this thread coming this way. So what I'm going to do, again, find the end. And now you are going to come up through in between right here. So take your thread and it's going to come right up there. You see where that is? And pull it through. So now your work looks like this. Take the end again, and you're going to go down through this loop right here and pull through. And make sure that cord sits right in the middle there. Okay, so now this is what your work looks like. And we're finally ready to start doing the fishtail weave. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to take this end and you're gonna wrap it around and down, and you're going to wrap it behind the first two, keep it snug, and draw it through the opening. Through the opening, up and around, and again trying to keep everything nice and snug here at the top, and go back through the loop, and now you're just going to go up and over the two and pull your paracord through, pull tight, and go around and back up and through. It's really important to keep a good tension, especially on these first couple of wraps here. Go ahead and feel free to adjust as you go. But now we're going to go up and around and back down through. See that? And you're going to continue on in this manner. I'm going to show you a few more wraps. Again, keeping it nice and tight. Go up and around and back down through. Up and around, back down through. And you'll notice you can kind of scoot up your knots a little bit to make them nice and tight. You want to have a good, nice tension like this. And you're just going to continue to wrap. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when I get to the end to help you finish off your fishtail braid. So now I've come to this portion of the bracelet, and all I've done is I've kept going up and down and over and over and over. So now I'm towards the end here, and I'm just going to show you again just how to finish off these few last little loops. And at this point you'll probably want to start taking your end and threading it through. And again, keep scooching those knots up nice and tight. And again, down and through, finding that end and coming back up. Scooching those knots up. And as you get towards the end here, you'll want to make sure that it's the right tension and the right amount of slack that you're going to want for this. Keep taking that end and up and around and through. And just as a note, I know a lot of people When they do this, they'll notice that one half is a little bit bigger than the other, but that's because that is where that tail is. But you really can't tell all that much. But just when you get to the end of that tail, you just keep going back and through around your 2 main threads, as if that thread just wasn't there anymore. But it should create the same look for you. If it does bother you, you can always make sure that your tail goes all the way to here, and then you'll just have one side that'll be bigger than the other. It's just kind of a preference, and it's also how much paracord you'd like to use. So now we've come to this point in the bracelet, and your paracord is coming out of this direction. So what you're going to do is you're going to wrap it all the way around until it comes up to the top. I didn't go through anywhere. And now you're going to thread it down through the center. And on the back side, you'll see it'll come right up there. And then just pull tight, and see I have one loop that's coming all the way over, and you'll just pull that. So now we have our thread coming out here on the back, and what we're going to do is we're going to thread it down through this loop right here. So you might need to loosen it a little bit, and just take your thread and go down through that loop right there. Okay, and then you're just going to pull tight. So now you have your loop on the back here and your thread coming through from the front loop, just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut as close as possible and cut off the end. Now before you do anything else, take your lighter again, and since we don't want this to fray, click your lighter on and place the tip of the flame, and you'll see it start to melt right there, and you'll want to make sure it melts right in there so that it won't come out. A little bit more on mine. Again, please use adult supervision for this or have a parent help. But there you go, and that should create a nice smooth little knot up against your skin, and click it together, and there is your fishtail paracord bracelet. And you'll be able to get all of these components at beadaholique.com.